Hey, what's up guys? It's Toxic here, and today we're going to be talking about a change that recently came to the Roblox avatar editor, which is a change that's pretty much in preparation for a much bigger update that's coming to Roblox very soon. And when I first saw this, I actually made a whole different video talking about this, because at the time I couldn't find any dev forum posts talking about it, and I really couldn't find anything discussing this change. So I basically made a whole video talking about how this change seemed really pointless, and it seemed like it could be irritating to a lot of people. But then, once I was rendering my video, I decided to open Twitter and just take a look at Bloxy News' Twitter account, because they tend to know a lot of stuff that isn't on the dev forums and is otherwise pretty hard to find. And sure enough, after I finished rendering the whole video talking about how this update seemed pointless, of course I find a tweet that basically explained how this change right here is basically in preparation for a much bigger update coming to Roblox very soon. So as you guys can see on the screen right now, the avatar editor has been changed quite a bit. First things first, you can see that there's now a 6th item per row. There used to be only 5 items per row. And there's also a new option up here called accessories on the tab, which used to be in the clothing tab. And I'm pretty sure that they had to expand it one in order to make everything fit, because otherwise this bar would be much larger than the items down here. It basically just makes sense that they expanded this by 1. But yeah, they really moved a lot of things around with this change. For example, characters right here is actually the costumes option. The costumes option that used to be all the way on the right, where you could go to your outfits and your packages, is now all the way on the left right here next to recent. And they also renamed it from costumes to characters. And then the clothing section is completely different. Remember before where you used to have your gear, your accessories, and also your clothing in this clothing section? Well, now it's just your shirts, pants, and t-shirts. And then the accessories have been moved here, as well as the gear. I still don't understand why the gear is under the accessories thing. This is something I pointed out when I recorded the whole thing, calling it pointless. I still don't understand why the gear is here. I couldn't find anything explaining why they put gear with accessories. But also something you'll notice is that hair is no longer in the accessories option, because they put that in the body tab. Again, I don't really understand why this one is here, because it's considered an accessory, I'm pretty sure. Like, let's just go take a look at a random hair. Alright, so yeah, as you can see right here, it says type accessory hair. So it's still considered an accessory in the catalog and all that, but for some reason they decided to put it under the body tab instead of the accessory tab. But now let's take a look at the tweet that basically made me delete a whole video from Bloxy News. You can see that this tweet says, "This update is also in preparation for the release of the upcoming layered clothing feature." And this is something that Roblox has talked about before by adding layered clothing and all that stuff. But like I said before, it really seems somewhat pointless, but now that there's this explanation right here, it makes a lot of sense. And it also makes sense because there's something I pointed out that seemed like it was potentially a mistake by Roblox. But now that this context is here, it actually explains a lot. So if we were to take a look at the clothing section right here, you could see that there's actually something that says clothes and then a little tab here. And it's not featured in any other section here. And at first when I made my whole video talking about this, I thought that this was a mistake. And I thought that maybe they tried to change this too fast and they forgot about this clothes section. But if we were to take a look at the screenshot that Bloxy News attached, you can see that the little tab here is still used. And for example, right here where it says classic shirts, classic pants, and classic t-shirts, and then it has a little classic tab here, this actually explains a lot, because even though it says just clothing right now, or I think it says clothes, it makes sense that they could probably just rename it to classic, rename all of these to classic items, and then add all these little tabs here like there used to be for accessories and gear. But I'm not sure if this is the final layout that's actually been leaked by somebody, or if this is just like a concept thing to kind of show what it's supposed to look like. Because for some reason, gear is under the clothing section. Even though it used to be under clothing, then now it's moved to accessories, and then now it's going to be moved back to clothing with its own tab. I don't understand that part. So again, I'm not sure if this is something that was actually leaked or if this is just something to explain the concept. But either way, this explanation makes a lot more sense than what I initially thought this change was, which, like I said, I honestly thought that this was just going to be a pointless change. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments. Do you guys think that layered clothing is something that's going to be really interesting when it comes out, or are you just not excited for it at all? I personally don't think I'll be using layered clothing all that much, but I still think it's going to be a really cool change, and I think it's going to allow for a lot more creativity when it comes to making outfits on Roblox. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time, and goodbye.